Welcome to Wrestling with Heart, a podcast looking at pro wrestlers giving back to their community. Join me, Stanley Carr, as I interview wrestling's hottest names who use their platforms as entertainers to raise awareness and do community service. Hello and welcome to another edition of Wrestling with Heart. This is the show where we talk with professional wrestlers and professional wrestling personalities about their lives in and outside of the ring, as well as doing acts of charity work, community service, volunteering, and spreading positivity. We're always about the positive vibes here on the show. And with me right now, I've got a very special guest. He is a professional wrestling referee and personality. He's worked for numerous independent promotions across the country. I'm pleased to welcome the one and only Big Daddy Mike. Mike, welcome to Wrestling with Heart.
Thank you, Stanley. I appreciate it. Appreciate you asking me to be here.
Yes, my pleasure. So tell me about your childhood. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a small town of Burns, Tennessee, which is about 45 minutes west of Nashville. Lived there my whole life, and about 2018, decided to move out of Burns. I grew up there my whole life, so now I live in a town called Charlotte, which is about 15 minutes away from Dixon. So,
all right. So grew up in a small town, kind of in that in the middle Tennessee area, not far from Nashville. So I'd imagine you'd have some wrestling shows out that way. A lot of people in Tennessee.
yeah.
A lot of, it's the talk of the town. Professional wrestling has had this hotbed in the state of Tennessee, and particularly in the Nashville area. So, did you get to go to a lot of shows? Were you a huge fan growing up?
I was. You know, I used to watch back in the day, like the WWF days, probably like the early 90s, because I was born in 86. So I remember some of the 90s, but not as much as I would like to. But I still know who people are. Like some people like mention like certain names, like, yeah, I know exactly who that is because I remember watching them growing up because, it's people like I idolized. So.
Who were some of your favorites to watch?
My favorite, wow, very good question, Stanley. I always like the headbangers. I like Washington Thrasher because, their dance. I mean, what they did in and out of the ring was phenomenal. I thought they did. That was like back in the early 90s, late 90s, because some people today wouldn't even know who they are. But I always watched them. As far as tag teams, the Hardys, but when they first got their start, Matt and Jeff, when they was younger, nobody would even thought they be as big as they are now.
I mean,
Um,
they became, worldwide phenomenons.
oh, they
Along
did.
with the Dudleys, along with Edge and Christian, really set the bar for tag team wrestling of the early 2000s.
That they did because I remember, that triple threat ladder match, with Edge and Christian, Hardys, the Dudleys, at WrestleMania. I mean, that that was probably one of my favorite WrestleMania moments is watching that match because wow, it's like they took it to the extreme. Whenever they said it's going to be like a TLC match, they took TLC to a whole different level.
And it was very innovative too, because you never really saw a lot of those kinds of stipulations in the WWE at that time.
Oh,
You'd see hardcore matches, you'd see ladder matches, you'd see Hell in a Cells and steel cage matches, but this was like fusing together like elements of different kind of match types into one. And so all those guys were really, set the standard for what we see today as far as what a TLC match looks like. Really, um, they were really innovative.
oh, they were.
So did you know at a young age you wanted to be in the business?
Um, at the beginning, not really. Never really crossed my mind. Because I know whenever I was younger, me and my nephews, we would always have trampoline wrestling matches, but I never really thought it would go. I really didn't think it would go anywhere. But because back a few years ago, like maybe like 15, 20 years ago, I got my first big break helping out. I helped out Burt Prentice. He owned and ran USA Championship Wrestling. I went to a few of his shows, because I was always in the area. So I went to his shows and I was thinking to myself, like, is there something I could do to help? So I asked him if, I told him I was always been a fan, watching wrestling, and I always wanted to be involved somehow, but I just didn't know how to be involved. So I asked him, I said, is there something I could probably help with? He said, I would love, if you're able to, need some like ring crew, like help set up and tear down the ring. I'm sure I can handle that. So I used to help with him doing that for several years. Then whenever Bert passed away, um, the guy he had like was at once upon a time his ring announcer, KC Gold. KC runs Tennessee Championship Wrestling, which is based out of Jackson, Tennessee, and he asked me as well, because he knew I used to do things for Bert. He said, would you like to continue to help me as well? He said, because I know you've always helped Bert, and would you always want to help me? I was absolutely. I was, that felt like, an honor and privilege to me that I get, asked from another wrestling promoter to like come help out, sit up, tear down, do security. I would be honored because now, since I get involved with it, I get to meet a lot of people I thought I would never meet growing up. You know, I've probably been doing it like off and on, maybe 15, 20 years, but like I said, just by helping set up and tear down the ring.
Yeah, I mean, you got your start, being able to be a part of the ring crew, get to network with so many people. It's kind of nice, when you meet people that help give you that break. There's no better feeling, when you move up that ladder, especially being a part of a team like that. And so, getting to work under Burt Prentice and Casey Gold, I'm sure you learned a lot from them.
Oh, I did. Absolutely. I mean, back 2022, 23, I actually got to work a Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame show, which I got to do security for that, which that was a complete honor, which I got to meet names such as the Rock and Roll Express, another legendary tag team I grew up watching. I got to meet Superstar Bill Dundee. I got to meet PG-13, JC Ice, and Wolfie D. I mean, these are names, people wouldn't even know who they are today unless you go on like YouTube and find some of their old matches. I mean, these are people I can remember. Memphis wrestling back then, was bigger than what it is now because, all down the area, the Mid South wrestling was huge.
It was
So,
massive. I mean, a lot of household names got their start there. And you see, the legacy of Memphis wrestling carry on into today. I mean, before ECW, you had Terry Funk and Jerry Lawler have an empty arena match. You had the Tupelo concession stand brawls. Um, led up to like the whole, and then the fireballs. I mean, especially. I mean, you
oh,
had
for
like
sure.
really like intense moments that occurred in Memphis. Kind of paved the way for some of the stuff you saw in the '90s and today. So Memphis was a very um, innovative territory. It really came up with some really uh, interesting stuff.
That it was. that it was. But back in 2007, because I used to be a volunteer firefighter, and there was a show in Burns where, and I went to one of the shows, and I got to meet Jerry Lawler for the very first time. And I'm talking about, he was a very first big legend I actually got to meet. I was like, wow. I mean, for somebody, like Jerry Lawler, like he let me hold his crown, we got a picture, and like I still have that picture today. Like this is just unreal because it's like moments you don't get. But I've seen Jerry several other times after that. You know, when I see him, I talk about how we met and all that. He said, "Oh yeah, I remember that." Like, but those are special moments for me because I've met whenever I did helping Bert, I met Jerry, of course. I met Ricky Morton then. Mickey James is one. Well, let's see. Big Daddy V, Viscera, met him. Sid Vicious, Dan Engler, formerly known as Rudy Charles, met him. Trying to think who else because there were so many good guys. Bert, he was phenomenal. I mean, he would bring in names, so many big names, because of what his legacy was, and everybody knew who Bert was. Like,
Yeah, definitely. Was such an icon of the Nashville wrestling scene. Um, and his television shows, I feel like, really influenced a lot of the stuff you see today in the Nashville scene.
for
Um,
sure,
a lot of big names came out of Nashville as well. So to see how far Nashville has come with professional wrestling, it's amazing to see the talent in this area really grow. Any pieces of advice Bert told you when starting out that you still carry with today?
just do the best you can. He said you're gonna make somebody proud, and and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing the best I can, and I know I'm making somebody proud because my dad passed away August the 31st of 2016.
So sorry.
That was something me and him always did. We always went to an indie show, whether it was like Arcadian, whether it was USA. I mean, those were special moments me and my dad had because we always had wrestling nights because that's something we lived for. Like something I couldn't even wait to get home from work to watch. Like there are some days I was at work and it was on. I was like, oh, I had to miss work. Like I had to miss this because I had to work, but it's okay. But I don't. I mean, I know like whenever I lost my dad because my dad passed away, I know what I'm doing today. I'm making him proud because I did tell him. I said one day I'll I'm gonna be in the ring doing something one day. I just don't know when. But luckily, I got that calling from Aaron Camaro back this year, January, for the Ashland City Rumble. That was uh, like, are you serious moment? Like, you want me to be in the ring? Never did I ever expect that to ever be. I cannot thank Aaron Camaro and the whole CHW for all they've done because without them, I probably would not be who I am now because I was so used to other promotions, helping set up, tear down, being security, and all that. I would never thought I got the dream to actually be inside the ring to do something. So I owe that to Aaron Camaro and Mike Green and the whole CHW family because they gave me an opportunity I thought I would never get.
Yeah, I mean, CHW has a lot of incredible talent that are on the rise. The Greens, of course. You have Chris Echoes. You have Nick White, AJ Hall, Austin Wright. So many
Exactly.
talented guys. Colton Cage, that I think are going to do big things in the future. I really see a lot of them uh, make it to big time,
Oh, I do too.
and it's going to be phenomenal. So, CHW is an amazing promotion. And really, there's nothing like having those moments, with you and your dad, the father son bonding experience, and something you can enjoy together. And wrestling brings out so many people to come to these shows, very family friendly, people of all ages. Uh, where else can you see, good guys and bad guys fight each
Right.
other, you know, good
I
versus
mean,
evil.
my mom's, she's a huge wrestling fan too. She's always been huge into it. So this is something we would always try to do, but she knows me and my dad will do the majority of it. But I don't never want to exclude her out because I always want to invite her to them whenever she's willing and able to. Like she's wanting to see me come do what I do, but I know she will. But I know when she does, it's going to surprise the heck out of me, which I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I
Where
definitely, I definitely hope she comes to a show at some point in the near future because,
oh, me too, because
uh,
see her expression. No, it was very fortunate. I had my wife and my two youngest with me, which my oldest has not yet seen me perform yet, but I'm sure she's seen it on TikTok because most of the clips are on TikTok. Which right now, because I already have like a huge following on TikTok. Which, if
it's
it
great.
was not for my oldest daughter, I wouldn't even really have TikTok because I really didn't think, okay, I usually just post random stuff or just of my wife, my daughters, and all that. But now that I'm doing this, I'm posting things with them, of course, and I'm posting stuff with wrestling related, and that's really getting a lot of attention as well. That and my Instagram, which about a few months ago, no, not too long ago, I got to asked if I want to help out with CCW, which is Coastal Wrestling Champion. Yeah, Coastal Wrestling Championship.
Coastal Championship Wrestling. Yep.
Yep, out of Tampa, Florida. And they asked me would I be interested in helping them out do some stuff. I said, absolutely. I mean, opportunities is there. I mean, if I can help out somewhere, I will. So they let me do a few things, which was very cool. Got to meet Big Ben Bishop. That was pretty cool. Tyler Shoop. Of course, I was already friends with LG3. So, but LG3 is the one who reached out to me to if I would be interested in helping them out.
Now,
So,
you've been refereeing for various promotions, including CHW. What has been your favorite part about refereeing?
my favorite part, you know, all of it, because I because I felt like some people said, "Oh, you could probably be like the next Charles Robinson, or you could be the next Earl Hebner." I was like, "Well, I would never thought that, but okay," because they said you got that Charles Robinson like that mentality, because you're willing to take a bump if it's given to you, because some people don't want to take a bump. Because whenever I first to my first bump refereeing for CHW, it was in the flag match with Chris Echoes and um, David Gordon. I was like, wow. Whenever I stepped through the ropes, in a ref, I was like, am I really doing this? I was like, that's what I was thinking to myself. Am I really doing this? But re- dreams come true.
Yeah, I mean, you've been with the company now for the last few months, and you're getting to work all these different promotions. Uh, Tell me about like where do you see yourself what's your ultimate goal in the wrestling business?
My ultimate goal. Very good question, Stanley. Very good question. My ultimate goal, you know, do what I can to make everybody proud. I mean, as long as I'm making somebody proud, I know I'm doing. I know I'm doing good.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it's about. Gotta keep everybody happy and make it a positive experience for the fans.
For
Um,
sure. I mean, I've interacted with so many people because I'm a people person. Like people like at the last show, one of the young fans came to me. He said, "I follow you on TikTok." I said, "Well, you know what you do? You just tell your friends to follow me too." So I'm all about that. I mean, I'll tell anybody. I said, I'll give my socials. I mean, if they want to follow, they can. I mean, I don't make them if they don't want to, but if they're wanting to, that's up to them.
I mean, it's this is the new generation. I mean, social
It
media,
is.
it's a powerful tool and you use it and you develop that following and you just never know where things can take you, Your TikTok seems to be growing and Instagram and so you could be up there in the big leagues at some point.
Right. Well, just like everybody's asking me, how did I get my name Big Daddy Mike? And I'll be glad to explain how did this all come about. Like the Mike part, everybody called my dad Big Mike because that was what everybody nicknamed him because his name was Michael as well. And so people just called him Big Daddy, well, Big Mike. And the daddy part, that's what I would call him. That's what I would call my dad. I wouldn't call him like dad or pops or nothing like that. I would always call him daddy. So I put all three together. I said, you know what? Make it easy. In memory of my dad, so I'm just going to do Big Daddy Mike.
I love
So
that. That's amazing. Now, outside of wrestling, I know you've been involved with a lot of charity work and have helped out with several events and functions. What kinds of things have you done to help out in your community over the years?
back a few years ago, back 2007 to probably about 2013, I used to be a volunteer firefighter. That was very rewarding. It really was. Like I got to experience like things I never thought I would experience. I mean, I used to like go some trainings that we would do. Of course, they would use me as the practice dummy, but it's okay. I mean, but I loved it because volunteer firefighting was a very rewarding thing. I mean, I wouldn't take it back.
Now, how did you just say one day, I want to pursue being a firefighter? This looks fun. This looks cool.
They came to me because I've been friends with them for years. The chiefs, the captains, I've been friends with them for years. Then they was like one day my dad did it for like 18 years. He is
Hmm.
a volunteer. And like I said, I used to go around all the time when I was younger. Like when I was real small, I would always go to the fire hall with him. Then I said, you know what? When you get older, we want you with the fire department. Well, okay. I really didn't. I just brushed it off like, oh, y'all just kidding. But as I get older, I said, you know what? No, I don't think that we're kidding because they asked me again, like, do you want to be with the fire department? I was like, you know what? I will. I'll do it for a while. So I did it up until December 2013.
Hmm. So it's in the blood. It's in father son, uh, career path. You become a firefighter. Firefighters. It's a hard job. It really is. I mean, you have to go to various places to try to put fires out in different
Right.
places. It's hard work to see what the men and women do to rescue so many people and so many buildings, that are destroyed, that are really in terrible shape. But it really, you're saving lives out there because it's hard to see what's going on whenever you're somewhere that is uh, in bad shape. So you're going putting those fires out, and you're rescuing so many people and saving lives. Was there a particular moment when being a firefighter that you can recall that was a very heartwarming moment?
Um, I know I will never forget a call I ran. It was back in 2007, 8, somewhere along there. It was a call I ran. One of my friends had passed away, and I ran that call. Like that got me. That got me. Oh, I was, but as far as heartwarming, I'm gonna have to say it's. I said it's been several years. I have to really think back on that one because oh wow, can't really think back because it's been that's been that long.
It's hard when you've had friends that you've known for so long that unfortunately, pass away and are no longer with us. Because those are moments that, those are memories that you have of the good times that you share with someone.
Oh yes, for
um
sure.
and it changes your life. It makes you question certain things and wish for certain things, and it's never a good feeling.
No, like whenever I ran that call, I would never forget it as a man. Like I said, I've known him for years, but like wow, because I used to work convenience stores for about 15, 20 years. I used to be like a cashier. I used to do stock. That's where I met a lot of the people I know is like working in convenience stores because I've met so many people doing it, and I bonded like a friendship with all these people. But now that I'm doing this, I mean, now whenever I see them out, they say, "What are you doing now?" I said, "Well, you won't believe it if I told you."
Did you have a favorite part about being a firefighter? What was like the highlight of your time?
My favorite part probably the trainings because I enjoy the trainings I got to be involved with because it's something you can't really take back.
No, I mean,
Like because you've learned so many different types of trainings, and you would have never thought that'd be like that.
yeah, I mean, it's you have to really discipline yourself and be
You do.
ready at all times. Whenever something goes wrong, you got to be there like right then and there, that second. So,
It don't matter what time it is,
no,
but be ready to go.
yes. Why do you feel passionate about giving back to the community?
I'm always been like person with a caring heart. I care for others. I always try to help somebody if I possibly can. Like if somebody's needing something, I try my best to help them if I can. Like I know people did that for me if I ever needed it. So I want to get back, try to help somebody who might need the help.
Yeah, you just never know what somebody's going through. Somebody, suffering or they're sick or whatever. A helping hand just goes a long way. It really does.
Especially if somebody needs somebody to talk to. I mean, that's what I tell my friends. I said, if you need somebody to talk to, I said, I'm here. You got my number. You know how to message me. Like if you need to talk about something, you can always holler at me. I'll listen.
It means so much to be able to help someone out that is going through a hard time in their life and to be there for them. Um, there's just no other special feeling uh, than to pay it forward to somebody else.
Exactly, because you never know when they might need it. You never know. Like, I won't ever forget, like, going back to whenever I was working at a convenience store. I worked at Thornton's there in Kingston Springs. I'm sure you probably heard of it.
Hmm.
I actually got to become friends with somebody I never thought of, you know, Jake Owens, the country music singer. Well, making a long story short, what he did, we was talking. I was working a shift. He came in, was talking a little bit, getting to know each other. But there was one night, I think it was like a few nights before Christmas. He came in. He asked for me. People like, what do you need him for? That's what they was thinking. Like, what do you need him for? Like, he's on break, which I was on break at the time. Um, so he came in. He left him a card. He said, "Well, make sure he gets this." So I came. I was about to come back from break. One of my coworkers came back to me. They said, Jake came in looking for you." I was like, "Oh, well, where's he at?" "Oh, he just left, but he wanted us to give you this card." That's okay, cool. It was a Christmas card. And what really got me the most about this, I opened up this Christmas card. He wrote a note in it and told me that he appreciated my hard work and appreciated I had great customer service and all that. And he gave myself and my family, my wife and daughters, a gift card to spend for our daughters for Christmas
Hmm.
as an appreciation for my customer service.
It's amazing.
So, yeah, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, who'd have thunk that would have happened, you know?
I know, especially somebody from him. I would never thought that. I mean, I'm gonna say I'm very blessed with the family I have because without them, I wouldn't know what to do. Honestly, I would not know what to do because I'm thankful for my mom, my sisters, my brothers, everybody, everybody I came in path with. I'm very thankful for them, including you, Stanley,
I
because
appreciate that.
just in our short time, I mean, I've seen your work. I was like, he's done a phenomenal job, and I want you to know that
Thank you.
because everybody I've seen you interview, all the ones I've listened to, like, wow, you know, I'm glad you gave me the opportunity to come on and do this
Yeah.
with you.
I thank you so much for coming on, to share your story and talk about the things that you've done um, in and outside of the wrestling business. Means a lot to me and to my listeners that are watching this and are listening to this. Where can people find out more about you on social media? I know you have a TikTok page. Feel free to plug it.
I will. I'm on TikTok. It's Big Daddy 34TN. That's my TikTok. Instagram is Caitlin CAITLYN Daddy DADDY 05042011. That's my Instagram. I also have a Twitter, which is Big Mike 5411. I also have a Big Daddy Mike Facebook page I made, which is two words, Big Daddy Mike, or you could just follow my
Three
personal
words.
page. Yeah, yeah, three. I don't know
Three
what I was thinking
words.
too. I don't know what I was thinking too, but you know what I meant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
But that's where you can find me. You know, feel free to follow. share the journey with me, because this journey is not going to end anytime soon. This is only the beginning.
Indeed, it is. Mike, thanks again, and you're more than welcome to come back.
Oh, I appreciate it, Stanley. Appreciate it. And I definitely will. Anytime you want me, I'll make time to be there.
All right. Take care.
Well, thanks, Stanley. Appreciate it, everybody.
Of course. Bye-bye. This is Wrestling with Heart. I hope you found this podcast to be informative and entertaining. If you did, please hit the subscribe button and look out for the next edition.